The good folks at Comics for Fun and Profit have been doing 2 episodes a week for quite some time now, and it's all thanks to, first of all, Jason, and second of all, our patrons who allow us to add the space on our server, broadcast more, store more, share more with you, the listeners. I'm envious of those of you who have unlimited storage and media server capabilities. We pay for ours here at the C4FAP. It ain't cheap. We thank you so much for those of you who go to patreon.com/comicsfunprofit and contribute at any level to say thanks, to say I want to be a part of your Slack channel conversations. I want to get exclusives. I want to get early access. I want to get ad-free access. I want to get swag. I want to get some free stuff. Whatever your reasoning is, we appreciate it at any level because it does make a difference. So from the bottom of Kyle and I and Jason's heart, thank you for contributing. Thank you for listening to Comics for Fun and Profit. This is Drew, and joining me today is Mike Myers. So I got a guest host. That means Kyle's out and about. Hey, Mike.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going?
Going pretty
the
good.
Sixth man coming off the bench.
The sixth man coming off the bench. Got his own T-shirt. He's done it so
That's
often.
right.
Hey, first off the top, man, I wanted to thank you on behalf of Jason and myself for setting up the Andrew Peepoy interview.
Oh yeah.
That was a nice get for us. He's a really great artist, so it was nice of him.
He's fantastic. He's a friend, and I interviewed him last time for his Kickstarter, but I don't like to do interviews. I really don't like it, and I know that's like Jason's thing. So
yeah, he
gets excited about it, and
he loves it. He does the research and the prep work. He'll read like 5 or 6 of the guys' comics leading up to the interview, and and prep and listen to other interviews to prep. He does a great job.
Yeah.
We
that's the stuff I don't want to do.
I don't want to do that either.
I don't like to work. I don't like to work. I mean, that's if podcasting feels like work, I don't want to do it.
I ain't doing it.
Like when I did the first interview with Peepoy, it was more like a casual friend talk because he's like a friend of mine. So it's easy for me to talk to a friend than it is to talk to like a creator I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did good. I listened to the episode. It was really good. He did it justice, and I thought he would. I pass him all the interviews I get, and I say don't feel obligated,
Right.
I personally, I don't know why people get the impression that I'm gonna do an interview. I don't know how they find me and then say, oh, you want to do an interview, because they obviously don't listen to.
They don't listen to the show. Right?
Yeah, they don't know.
Yeah, I get some interesting partnership offers that way too. I'm just like,
yeah,
I don't know that I'm the best spokesman for tampons, but all right.
I passed the White Savior guys over to him too.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
And they seemed really interesting, and interesting enough, they had listened to my podcast, but I guess they didn't realize I didn't do any interviews.
Yeah. He's talking for 4 hours. He's got to have some interviews thrown in there. Nobody can talk for 4 hours.
The only time that we would do stuff like that was DC Noise, and that was because one of our co-hosts was always drunk, and he'd like dial in creators. It was just like nuts. So
he had their numbers.
Well, he had their Skype, and he knew them, and he would say, "Come on!" And like one regular was Robert Atkins. He'd come on a lot. But we had like Drew Moss, and we had several. The guy who, God, I can't think of his name right now. We've had so many different creators. It's not a bit funny. We were even drawn into a comic.
Oh yeah, I think I heard that story. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a Marvel comic called Castle, which was based on the TV show.
Yeah. What up? Do you remember the issue number?
I don't remember the issue. I have pictures of it somewhere, but
You don't even own it?
I do own it.
Oh, okay.
I bought the issue. I just don't know which one it is.
I was like, man, you're drawn into so many comics that you just get bored and you don't even buy the comics anymore.
Yeah, I've been drawn into a lot of web comics, but this was my first like comic.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a couple of listener questions that get sent in. Thomas J wants to encourage his kids to read comics, and he's asking where should new comic readers start?
Do they like to read?
I mean, it just depends. Like if they if they already have a druther, so if they're already like a Marvel or a DC kid already from what you've laid around and they've picked up, I think you can't go wrong with an unlimited subscription.
Oh yeah,
either one of those, and just let them just explore and have fun and find stuff they like without a lot of cost involved. And then, of course, local library. Let them just take whatever they want out of there. Get them on the Hoopla app. So
yeah,
that
once they see that they're interested,
yeah,
then you can start going physical if that's what they want,
because the next step is more of a challenge. Is getting them to comic shop, getting them to pre-order, getting them on a pull list, that sort of stuff is more of a challenge.
The way I would bring them in, this is just me, just because I know how a kid today's brain works. I would take them to Into the Spider-Verse and say, do you like that? They came from here. And then show them like where they came from and see if they like reading about them on the app.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think our generation started reading because that was fun. Like reading comics was a fun thing to do, and we didn't have a lot of TV. We had 4 stations, if that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that includes PBS. So it was like you're either outside playing, watching TV, or reading comics.
Yeah, exactly. And so it was a viable option. You weren't gonna get to go to the. You didn't have streaming. You couldn't just dial up whatever you wanted. You didn't have video games.
On demand. You didn't have on demand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So that comics were just definitely a much more viable option. But I still think
cartoons, I would wake up in 6 a.m. and just watch
stare at the
color bars for a while and then wait till Dudley Do-Right started.
You'd watch the early stuff.
I would watch all the early stuff, and the early stuff was usually Rocky and Bullwinkle and Dudley Do-Right and stuff like that, and then it would cut into like the regular programming.
Yeah, exactly. I do remember those days, and it was kind of cool. I mean, it was pretty cool for me to my Saturday mornings were pretty blocked out with that.
Yeah, I remember I used to get so excited for the fall TV guide.
Yeah, for sure.
Harley's even excited.
Did Harley used to circle?
Yeah, she's
to try.
Harley's getting senile. She can't hear now. She's getting really old. Like it takes us about an hour for her to walk about a mile and a half, and it used to be fast. And now she just she'll have these things where she just barks for no reason.
How old is old?
She's 13.
13, and what kind of dog?
She's a Pet Bull Great Dane. She looks more Pet Bull, but she's really long. Okay. And she has her back legs don't look like a Pet Bull's back legs. She's got Great Dane in her. It's an unusual breed.
Yes, that is. Yeah. I have a 6-year-old that is Chihuahua and Labrador and terrier. We did the little
Wow.
DNA test, and
Oh, and a little bit of everything, huh?
there's a lot of stuff in there. I mean, Chihuahua's the big one, but she doesn't look like a Chihuahua really. So somebody was taking advantage of her mother, I think.
Yeah.
or the other way around. I don't know. But yeah, I love my little puppy.
Yeah,
Got
I
not a
love
puppy
mine
anymore.
too, and it's hard when they get older because their joints and stuff, they don't move like they used to.
Man, I haven't lost a pet for. Well, I lost a cat. I lost one of my
Yeah.
cats a few years ago, and it is rough, man. It is rough. I don't like
Yeah,
it.
we
Nope.
lost our first two pet bulls, and it was rough. I didn't think I was gonna get another one for a while, but I'm glad I did. And it never gets easier. That's the weird thing.
Yeah,
You think you'll adapt and you won't, but the animals are like my kids because I don't have kids, so they're like, you know,
that's.
it, it
I have a friend who has like parrots and macaws. Those are his
yeah.
pets, which all live to be like 150 or whatever.
Oh
So
yeah,
they'll
those
all
big
out.
ones grow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're in his will for when he dies, who's going to get them,
Jeez.
and so they can be continue to be cared for because they will outlive him.
They're his babies, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's kind of an interesting way to do it, is to find a pet that will outlive you so you don't have to lose it.
Yeah, that's true.
But who wants a turtle or a freaking parrot?
I like birds a lot. Like we have a bird feeder outside, so like growing up I grew up with parakeets, and believe it or not, those small birds are incredibly smart. We used to play hide and seek with one of them. He was
Ah,
like a blue parakeet, and you could yell his name like Hoser, and he'd find you. The
my
only thing about
grandmother had parakeets. That's crazy.
yeah,
Yeah, I didn't think anybody had birds.
yeah, they would like land on you, and this one would moonwalk, and it had a huge personality, and all the birds were pretty smart because we had like, I don't know, 5 different parakeets. But a matter of fact, when we moved to Colorado, we found one landed on me when I was mowing the grass, and I was like, this is like a weird thing, right? Because I've had parakeets and one just land on me, and I was gonna keep it, but we found out who it belonged to. Um, Gave it back.
So this was when you were young, growing up. You guys had parakeets in the house,
Yeah, yeah.
and would it like talk to you and sing?
No, they would whisper, but I mean
Yeah,
like they would chirp and stuff like
chirp, chirp,
that. And
chirp. Yeah,
yeah,
because
but
little ones
they
don't
they
talk.
they would not. You could kind of say like he would say his name. At least one of them would. Like he would try to do like a hoser, but it's not like a parrot, like, or a mockingbird or something that could like sort of talk. But they're pretty cool pets. Like I could see why he's attached to birds.
And so Thomas said, what are the biggest barriers to entry for new comic readers?
Technology. They'd rather be doing
So
something.
the barriers are distractions. You're saying
Distractions,
other
yeah.
choices.
Well, yeah, it's other choices. It's, would I rather read or would I rather see it,
Yeah,
or play it, like
yeah.
a video game. And that's what usually wins in most kids, I think. If we grew up with that, I think my life would be very different. I really do. Because
You think you
comics
think
were
you think you would
were
have
there weren't much choices like technology wise.
you don't think you would have been the comic reader you are today?
Oh, definitely not. I'd probably be retired because I wouldn't be spending so much on comics.
That's the only thing holding you back is your comic addiction.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty
That's
much.
hilarious. You could go cold turkey and just do the apps.
Yeah, I could, but I would have had to do it for, I don't know. I'd have to go back 10 years and say I was gonna
Oh,
stop. Yeah.
oh. and then save that money.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Or invest it.
Yeah. Elle wants to know where we stand on digital necromancy, which is I had to look this
Death.
up. I had to look this up. It's when an actor or artist of some sort dies, and you use the computers and AI to continue like making movies or music or whatever with those people after they're dead.
Well, that's an interesting term because I would have like necromancy's not. I don't know where that comes from, but it's interesting that they have something for that.
Yeah. So like when somebody dies during filming, but you got to finish the scene and you just use the stuff that's in the can.
I'm good with it like that. I think it's well, if it's well done enough, and I know they do it. They do it with like Tom Cruise because they de-age the actors with
Yeah, what's the
digital
difference?
stuff.
Yeah, there's a difference, I guess, between de-aging and digital necromancy because they're still necromancy because they're still
Yeah,
doing the
they're still
acting.
alive. They're still there. But like with Harrison Ford, he's obviously edited.
Yeah.
But yeah, Carrie Fisher is an example of
Yeah.
one of them for sure because they finished the film, and I'm okay with them finishing the film and doing whatever they need to do. They did Peter O'Toole too, in one of the shows.
Let's say you got somebody like Nicolas Cage who's done like a couple hundred movies. Right?
Have you seen Flash yet?
I still haven't seen it now.
Oh, okay.
Well, I heard good things. I've heard good things. So you've got somebody like Nicolas Cage done a couple hundred movies. You've got all the dialogue you would need. You've got his mannerisms, the way he acts. You've got to put that in the database, and then you create a new movie after he dies with.
I don't like
Nicolas
the
Cage.
AI aspect of it at all.
Yeah.
I just don't like. I don't like that they could do that without the actor's permission. I could see if he signs something prior to that.
Or his heirs. What about his heirs?
Or somebody, as long as it goes to them. If they're doing it illegally and like some of the stuff on YouTube where they're feeding two artists into an AI and doing a blend of a song, I hate that. Like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
What do you think about AI comics? The art or the writing, or if they use AI to do either or both?
Well, I've seen like digital art. I've never seen any AI art. Because I bought this comic called Shark of War at Heroes Con, and it was all digital. The guy was an engineer, and he didn't know how to draw, so he created the images.
Right, that's AI.
Yeah, well,
if he didn't draw them.
He didn't draw them. AI to me is more like when you take images and you didn't draw them on the computer at all. Like you take images and use AI to learn those images. And artificial intelligence is basically training like a neural net of some sort, and then on lots of data, and then letting it generate something for you. That's to me AI. If somebody just goes to Poser, like to draw something, that to me is just another form of art, just done digitally.
Right, but I can say, I can prompt an AI and say, show me a superhero. He's wearing black jeans and a red cap, and he's jumping from one building to the other, and there's a thief over there that he's getting ready to kick in the face.
Yeah, but
And,
the AI already has that data. Do you see what I'm saying?
right, but I'm not feeding them any images to distort. They're just creating that from the world of images.
Exactly. But that what you're describing as AI.
Yes.
To me, like when you use Poser and you're drawing something
Right.
digitally, that's something very different than going comma delimited using the chat AI or whatever they call
Right.
it.
Right.
That's different. That
Okay.
AI feeding that is kind of stealing a bunch of images and merging it.
Then would you feel the same about if they used writing from AI? So if they say
Yes,
like,
that's most. I mean, they've busted somebody at my wife's work for doing a resume that was AI. They sort of fed the same thing and got almost the exact resume. It was crazy. There are people already doing that. So I don't
I don't
like
know.
it. I actually used to train neural nets, so like I know how it's done, but back when it was done, then you would have to have like an entire Beowulf cluster of servers to store all this data and learn from it and categorize it. And now people are able to do it on their phone. So
It's fun.
it's changed dramatically.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know how I feel, man. I don't know.
I
I
don't
mean,
like it. I,
I
I
mean,
was hoping I was hoping to avoid it in my lifetime because it gets creepily dangerous. Like
it's
just in
not
terms of
great.
identity theft and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And also taking images of you off of social media and using it to generate something.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And then
did.
having to prove that it wasn't you.
Yeah. I have done that. I've done a couple of things where I've uploaded my, well, it's stupid now that I think about it, but I uploaded like a bunch of selfies and then had AI generate it as in different poses and as different like superheroes and stuff and as me. And I was like, oh, that was fun. Ha ha ha. And then later you find out, a couple of years later, you find out, oh, wait, now they're just, that's all in a data bank now
Well,
somewhere. People are,
yeah,
well, I'm going to show up now somewhere.
yeah, it's actually it's fun when you think about it in harmless terms. But when you think about it, how somebody can steal identity theft and stuff now, it's not so fun anymore.
No. Okay. Yeah. Less fun. Much less fun.
Less fun for sure.
Time for a break from our show to pay the bills. Check out beacons.ai/comics fun profit for all the C4 FAP links you could ever need, all in one place. You can provide feedback, listen, support, share, enjoy these. We have our Patreon there. You can buy us a beer or a coffee. You can check out our Instagrams, our Twitters, our Facebooks. Check out our YouTube page. You can email us. You can listen to our podcasts on Patreon, if you're a subscriber, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, on Podbean. We have Google Podcasts on there. We have an Amazon wish list. You want to buy Kyle and I something? Fine. You can do that here. We appreciate it. We have Kyle's RPG podcast listed on there, so you can check out his Dork Day Afternoon offerings. We have Cowabunga links, so you can check out the Cowabunga Deep Discount FOC and pre-order list. Get on that. That's RLCS, so you can check that out as well. And we want to just give you opportunities to say hi, to check out what we're doing, support us if you would like, or just listen. Check out beacons.ai/comics fun profit for all the C4 FAP links you could ever need. Thanks. Back to the show. All right, well, let's go into happy fun stuff and let's look at July's DC Connect. These are books that are coming out in September. So we got this from the good folks over at Lunar.
I got my physical copies, and thanks to Eric, he said he had IM'd me and said, "Hey, wow, the DC Connects have two different covers
Yeah.
for the very first time."
Yeah, that's kind of cool. And did you see that Lunar is now publishing an image catalog?
I did see it. I was surprised to see it I didn't think it was happening so soon.
Not so fast. Yeah, they had this in the pipes for a while.
Yeah.
But you remember
But
that?
I guess they announced September, and this is for September, so
Yeah,
it just seems like September is so far away.
it does. And do you remember when the Image had that? What was that magazine that they had for a year?
Image Plus.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that book. And so I wonder if it's going to be. It's probably not going to be like that. It's probably just going to be a catalog.
Yeah, that's just the catalog. I already thumbed through it.
Oh, okay, cool.
The interesting thing is, you know how Lunar has that, and then they have the independent stuff.
Yeah.
Image shows up in both of them.
Yeah.
So you can either read the Image specific one, or you can go into the independent one and see their stuff there as well.
Yeah, that's cool that they're giving Image a little.
And you can see it
extra.
in previews, so get it in 3 places.
Well, for now, we'll see.
Oh yeah, for now. I don't.
We'll see where they end up. I'll be curious to see what previews does with them.
When it cuts over.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know. Is it going to be a Penguin Random House situation where they can still offer it?
Yeah, they can still buy it, but they're not distributors. They're wholesalers.
Yeah, like they are with Penguin Random House.
Yes. And same thing with Marvel. Same situation.
But I imagine they get it early, so they can give it to comic stores.
Maybe.
I would think so.
I mean, yeah, they'd have to get it a little early, but I mean, as Eric mentions, Diamond is always the slowest to get your new comics.
Mm-hmm.
Even the ones that they distribute.
Yep.
Hey man, September 16th is Batman Day. I did not know that. So there's lots of fun stuff coming out.
Mm-hmm.
We get a Batman Catwoman Prelude to Gotham War. We get a Batman and Joker Deadly Duo. A Batman 608 Batman Day Special Edition. Batman 89. And a Gargoyle of Gotham #1. So those are kind of fun. Some of those are cheap, some are not.
The bottom 3 are. It looks like Batman 608 Special Edition is going to be $9.99 foil. Batman 89 is like a bundle. No, it's a
hardcover of the whole thing.
So that's going to cost you. And then $6.99 for the Gargoyle of Gotham. I think that's exclusive though, because this is Raphael Grandpa doing everything.
Yeah.
Everything else is a reprint.
But the first two are cheap giveaways.
Yeah, those are bundles to give away. The one on the left is probably new material because it's like a prelude into
that looks like
the event.
It would be, yeah, that would be
new.
So
that one would be new material. The Mark Silvestri one is reprint.
Yeah, given
and then everything else is reprint. But I think Gargoyle of Gotham is going to be Never Seen Rogues Gallery. He's an interesting artist too.
Yeah, I like him.
For like a gothic setting, it should be interesting.
So we're sliding into the Batman Catwoman Gotham War Part 1. And this is Chip Zdarsky and Teenie Howard teaming up to do the writing with Mike Hawthorne and Andriana De Benedetto on art.
Pages look really nice.
Yeah, it looks pretty good, man.
Interiors.
I like it. This is coming off of Night Terror's event, which was a nice, tidy 2-month event. We'll see how well it does. I haven't read any of them yet. Well, I think I read some preludes already, and maybe the first one. How much is out already? Just not very much, right? Just the first
just
week?
Just the prelude thing.
Yeah. So yeah, I enjoyed that. We'll see how the rest of it goes. And then they'll go right back into this kind of thing that they're doing, this Gotham War.
Yeah, should be pretty good.
And then the Red Hood gets a Gotham War as well with Matt Rosenberg.
The artist seems so different. Like, I don't know Mike Hawthorne or Adriano de Benedito.
Yeah, and on Red
Or
Hood, I don't know.
Nicola
Yeah.
Sismet. I can't even pronounce it. But what just going to Heroes Con and talking to artists that are big and stuff, it sounds like they don't want to work for what they're offered. In other words, they're dropping salaries and stuff. So it's like, I used to make this and now this is ridiculous. I'd rather do a Kickstarter kind of thing. So I think that's why we're seeing so many artists that we've never heard of.
And have you noticed a drop off in quality?
Not really. I don't know where they're getting these guys from, but they're pretty good. They're really good. And maybe it's like a case of these guys are hungry for work. Like maybe they really want to work in comics and they're giving it their A game. Do you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely would if I didn't have to like pay bills and stuff. The
thing I've liked, at least in most of these new artists, is it doesn't look digital. It still looks like it's drawn.
Yes.
It still doesn't look like it's inked, because it's almost like they draw it and then the color artist takes over now. You notice like the line work for sure, because an inker, I never really paid, when I was a kid, never paid attention to the inker. It was just art.
Right.
But as you get older and you see what an inker does, it's pretty dramatic. So inkers are kind of a big deal, but they just, not a lot of inkers anymore. That's why Andrew Peepoy, I think, is doing a lot of his own work in Kickstarters and stuff, because he was a big inker. And by the interview, he was, saying that it wasn't necessarily his choice. It's what he fell into with Fables and everything else, The Simpsons and everything else he drew.
Yeah. I like the that Batman cover, Part 2. That's really great for 137.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the David Nakayama cover there for Catwoman 57. That looks great. And that's art
I'm really behind in Catwoman. I gotta start reading that again.
That's what happens when you are a mood reader.
It does, but I've been reading. I'm caught up on a couple of titles in DC. It's not all of them.
Now, Josh Williamson and Simone DeMeo are relaunching Batman and Robin. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is.
That looks good too.
See, art to me, this is just me, and I can't verify it, but Art Germ to me looks very digital.
Oh, sure. He definitely is.
It looks like an anime cell drawn over.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah, he still catches my eye, but I wouldn't want to read a comic that he did.
Yeah, oh, exactly. Like if it's a static cover, it looks amazing, but if it was doing sequential art, I'm not sure it would work.
Sure it would work. Oh, and then we're getting a relaunch of Birds of Prey with Kelly Thompson and Leonardo Romero, another name that I don't know. Very cool.
I guess we should know. It says Leonardo Romero has done some Batman.
Yeah. It looks It looks fine. Look at that
Yeah, I
big double
like it.
page spread. That's great.
It's a nice photo, not photo, but a realistic approach to art.
Yeah.
Like, it's not normally you might see like a Kelly Thompson with somebody more with a cartoonish art style, but this looks pretty detailed. And if you look at that, I don't know what this bottom panel is, but that looks amazing.
That double page spread, yeah, that looks great.
Yeah.
Really, it's a little busy, but I
It's
bet
a
I could
little
zoom in
busy,
there.
but very imaginative.
Yeah,
Showing like motion.
showing this battle that's taking place on all over the place.
Yeah, looks really good. And this one features Batgirl, the silent one, and Black Canary, Harlequin, Zealot, which is interesting, from Wildcats, and Big Barda.
Yeah, so quite a team.
Yeah.
I'll definitely read it. Penguin gets its second issue. That's Tom King and Raphael De La Torre. Pretty solid team there. Not saving any money on those two.
Mm-hmm.
And then
He's my favorite Batman villain.
Penguin is?
Oh yeah, I love him.
Yeah.
He's just so he's like Batman's Lex Luthor, because he's usually playing outside of where he gets busted.
Yeah.
And he's not crazy like he doesn't go to Arkham. He goes to Blackgate if he ever goes to prison, but he's usually outside and he's usually free
Guess
in
his
his iceberg lounge.
His death did not stick.
Yeah.
We knew it wouldn't.
Have you seen Titans yet? The TV show?
I watched the first 2 seasons, maybe.
Oh, so you missed the third season, which is Lazarus Pits.
Ah, cool. Brave and the Bold is a nice looking team as well, with Tom King, Ed Brisson, Rob Williams, Mitch Gerrards, Jeff Spoke, Stefano Landini, and Jorge Fornes. Quite a crew there. Detective.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to reading the first one. I haven't read it yet.
I'm excited about that one too. Detective is still Rom V. I thought for sure they would have rotated somebody else in on this by now. I mean, he's doing okay. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's.
I think he's doing a real good job, but I don't think he does a real good job for a monthly. Like, if you read these like issue by issue, it's a little rough. Yeah. But if you read it like 5 issues in a stack, it reads really well.
Which I hate. So I hate that.
Yeah, it just depends on who your audience is. For me, it works okay because I usually read them like that.
Right.
I read them like a trade, even though I got the singles.
Like Nightwing usually packs with Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo. Usually packs a great single issue experience. You do not have to save them up to be able to enjoy it. They're pretty solid each and every issue, which is what I like. Harley Quinn fell off that, but I do like to look at the Sweeney Boo art. She's pretty good. There's a new villain coming into Poison Ivy with the 14th issue. G. Willow Wilson and Marcia Takara. It'll be fun.
It doesn't say who it is, does it?
Well, it's new.
Yeah, it says new villain alert, which is at least a good thing to say.
Yeah.
If you're a speculator, right?
Right. Want to know that stuff. They gave you a heads up on Spider-Boy.
I'm looking forward to Wonder Woman by Tom King. I think it's going to be really good.
Yeah, and Daniel Sampier art, I like him a lot. So
look at it. It looks amazing.
It's really great. Yeah. Yeah, it's really, really good. Yeah, I'm curious to see what his take is, and I haven't given Wonder Woman enough shots. So I'd check them out every once in a while when Joel Jones was on it or something, and but I don't stick around usually. So I'm excited about this. Maybe this will be the one that hooks me.
The Flash is Cy Spurrier and Mike Deodato Jr., an interesting pair.
That should be fun.
Yeah, this Cy Spurrier, I'm not too crazy about his superhero stuff, but man, he wrote one hell of an action annual.
Oh, okay.
It was amazing, man. I was in tears after reading that. It was so good. So like my hopes for this are a lot better because of what he did in that Superman annual.
Flash is one of your favorites, isn't it?
He is.
Yeah.
He always will be. It'll be interesting to see. The interiors look fantastic. I mean, look at those speed lines. It looks amazing. Where the kid's running. Oh man.
Yeah, it looks really good, right?
Deodato is an interesting artist. Like he's very versatile.
I mean, the
I'm really
layouts
curious.
are really inventive.
Yeah. Because he's been drawing a lot of like realistic stuff for AWA for a long time. And now that AWA is kind of scaling back, it's like he's looking for more work, I think, and planted himself here.
Well, you know what? AWA, they sure gave it a heck of a try. They had a lot of great content for a solid couple of years with lots of fun, creative teams together and told some great stories. So,
well, they're not out of the game. I mean, they still have like 4 books coming out in the next month. So
right, but I obviously they haven't been as successful as they wanted.
Yeah, it's kind of
that's too bad. That's unfortunate.
An overcrowded market, and if you're an independent publisher, man, it's hard to strike gold. They just need, I guess, a break. They need a successful TV show or movie to put them in the
black, I guess.
The game.
Yeah, that's too
because
bad.
Then people will look at it from a speculation purpose anyway.
We got a Power Girl series launching. Looks like an ongoing with Leah Williams and Eduardo Pansica and Julio Ferreira with a Gary Frank cover. And I'm trying to zoom in on this 1 in 25 that has like 100 Power Girls on the cover, but it's all blurry.
Yeah, that one looks pretty good. I do like that one. I would, if it wasn't a variant 1 in 25, I would get it.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, as I would buy 2 copies. I'd definitely buy this Gary Frank cover for sure, and then this variant cover. If it's not too expensive and they have it, I might consider it.
Yeah.
But I don't like to pay $25 for a cover. Like you see that a lot in the hot books, and then you see in the hot 10 and the hot 20, it's like big deal. Like it sold 55 copies at $12. I was like, who cares? Like
right.
It costed you more to buy that in some instances.
Yeah, unless you're going to Midtown.
Yeah,
where they probably sell it for $7.50 or something. You know, you're gonna break even or lose money with most small shops. You're not gonna get the great deal for a 1 in 25.
That's why I'm in your camp with the ratio variants for speculation picks.
Thank you.
They're just a ridiculous. They're like a okay, yes, it's gonna be rare and it's gonna be hot, but you could say that about every spec book. I mean, like every ratio variant, because there's a lot less of them.
Yeah, because so you can just pick a 1 in 100 every time. That'll do well. Yeah, it'll probably do well. Yeah, because it's a 1 in 100 because it's got built-in scarcity. Stupid. Yeah. That's where I was at. I was the same way, but I'm gonna let Kyle off the leash. He's gonna do what he wants. I'm not gonna micromanage him anymore.
No, what you need to hold him to it is he has to buy it. He's
Yes.
got okay. Here's the rule that you make for him. If you're gonna preach that, you better put that in your order form.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta talk.
And you
If you're
can
gonna
say,
talk the talk, you gotta
if
walk
you're
the
gonna
walk.
talk the talk, walk the walk.
Yes. Exactly. I love it.
You
That'll
could
be it.
quote me on that.
We'll put that in the C4 Fat bylaws.
That's right.
Fire.
You're allowed to pick it if you buy it.
Yes. That's the rule, and that'll shut him up.
And
Uh,
you're the moderator because you guys buy same off the same account, right?
yeah. Yeah. So I'll see it. Fire and Ice. Welcome to Smallville #1. It's a 6-issue series by Joanne Starrer and Natasha Bustos. So we got to spend some time with Ice in that last Tom King book, Human Target, and that was a great
Fire's in
version.
it too, right?
A little bit more Ice than Fire, but we got a great version of Ice in that, and this is a great book all around.
Oh, I love that variant. 1/25, Kevin McGuire, like Justice League International.
It does. Looks old school, doesn't it?
Yeah, with my old eyes, I can't. Oh, she's saying, is it just us? Fire.
It's like the old Guy Gardner, right?
It's like, no, it's like the pose of, you know how Justice League launched Justice League International and then Justice League Europe with all the members looking up, like they're kind of doing the same, but they're like, where is everybody? Is it just us?
That's funny.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then I like the logo on it too because it's Justice League International logo.
Yeah,
I really like that.
But that Fire looks like Guy Gardner from that JLI book. Like that's how he had his arms crossed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Guy has his arms crossed a lot because
that's true.
it's a sign of resistance. Like at least they say that if you go into a meeting, have your arms crossed, means you're there to fight.
Or you're just tired.
Yeah.
You want to retire.
That's right. You just want a nap.
Blue Beetle, a new Blue Beetle with Josh Trujillo and Adrian Gutierrez. This is going to be close to when the movie comes out, right? Or
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Hopefully it won't flop like the last two.
Yeah.
I like that kid too, the guy who's playing Blue Beetle that's in the Cobra Kai series.
Yeah, I think he'll be great.
This one I'm looking forward to the most.
Okay.
Because I love Jon Stewart, and it's got a new villain alert, and it's by Philip Kennedy Johnson, and I love Philip Kennedy Johnson. I haven't read his Hulk yet, but everything he's done with Superman and that fantasy book that came out from DC, I can't remember its name. I like this guy a lot, and I hope he does really good things with John.
Is it okay that Punisher has a war journal and Green Lantern has a war journal? Is that okay?
Sure, because he was a Marine.
Okay.
I mean, the things that like you learn about all the different Green Lanterns and personalities. John was a Marine, and he also is an architect. That's what makes him able to craft a lot of stuff with his rings that the others can't, because he can imagine architecture and stuff like that. Kyle is the artist, and he has an imagination of art, and then Hal is supposedly the bravest of them, of all the Green Lanterns. Guy is sort of just like a temperamental dude, but he wasn't always that way. The ring was supposed to choose him instead of Hal. And if you read his Silver Age stuff, he wasn't like he was in Justice League International.
I mean, that's where I first discovered Guy Gardner was Justice League International, and I loved him.
Well,
I thought he
that's
was great.
because that's when he kicked. Like that's when everybody clicked with him. Like early issues he didn't click, or we would have seen more of him.
Yeah.
People were attached to him because of his snarkiness and because he took Ice to a porno movie. I mean, I still remember that issue. It was absolutely insane. He finally gets her to go to a movie, and he doesn't know any better. It's I think God, it was a Taxi Driver. Taxi Driver did the same thing. It's almost like his personality. He didn't know it was wrong. He's a trip. But John has also experienced a lot of things that all the other Green Lanterns haven't. He actually witnessed the destruction of an entire world, and it was his fault in a Cosmic Odyssey. And then later on, he was put on a world that was called Mosaic. And the reason it was called Mosaic is because just a little sliver of Earth was on this planet, but all these other alien races, and everybody hated one another. And he was kind of like the cop trying to keep peace amongst everybody else that was trying to annihilate each other. He's a fascinating Green Lantern to me. He's one of my favorites, and that's before he became popular in the animated series.
Okay. I didn't. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't realize that he was that one of your favorites like that.
Yeah, you probably didn't realize the Penguin was my favorite villain either.
I don't think I did. I was always a How guy. Boring, but that's what I was always a How guy.
I was a Hal guy when he was it. And then when they brought in their Horizons, when Wally came, and Kyle is still one of my favorites, just because he's the most human of them all. Like he's the one that you'll experience emotions through. He's like your Peter Parker, your Marvel character. But yeah, I'm a Kyle and Wally fan, even though I grew up with Barry and Hal. So Green Lantern number 3 is Jeremy Adams and Philip Kennedy Johnson. That's what's interesting, is he's doing a John Stewart story that's leading into this ongoing.
Uh-huh. He's spread thin. He's all over the place.
Yeah, he got a Doc Shaner variant too. I like him a lot. He's got like a Silver Age, Golden Age sensibility to his art style.
He's great. That's a great cover.
Mm-hmm.
Shazam, the new Mark Waid Shazam, might take a chance and take a look at that one. The Tom Taylor Titans, I think I've read that first issue. I don't think I've read the second one yet.
Yeah, I thought it was a great first issue.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Cyborg number 3, I like that comic. I thought it was a good first issue as well.
I haven't read that one yet, so it's still sitting there.
It's an interesting art style. I would like to see if you like it or not. I like it a lot. It's very unique to me.
Josh Williamson on Superman. He's on issue 6, and then again Philip Kennedy Johnson on Action.
Yeah.
With Dan Jurgens and Madeleine Visaggio.
Haven't seen her in a while, so.
No. I was thinking she got blackballed or something. I hadn't seen her forever.
Yeah. Last time I saw her was Independent.
Yeah. Josh Williamson also doing Green Arrow with Sean Izoxy. Only read that first issue. It was fine.
Hawkgirl number 3. Kendra battles the Court of Owls and Talons in Gotham City. Should be interesting.
Always fun. Bring Batman in. Written by Jadzia Axelrod and Amin K. Halupan.
It's crazy though. Look at all the teams. Like, other than the Superman books, there's a lot of artists we haven't really seen. A lot of.
Right?
Yeah. We have Superboy, Man of Tomorrow. This is really interesting if you're into the clone type of Superboy, because he's sort of in space. He was, when the family came together, he was like, well, what do you want me to do? I want to do good things. And it's like, oh, we already got this taken care of. We got this taken care of. And then he starts, well, I'll go to the Justice League and see if I can take something globally. And somebody was already taking care of other things. And he's like, well, I'm kind of bored. I'm going to just go into space. And he ends up running into these Cometeers guys who are clones created by the Dominators. It's really pretty cool. And then Steelworks I haven't read yet, but it's by Michael Dorn of Star Trek. And Sami Basari he actually worked on the old Steel comic book, so it should be good. Unstoppable Doom Patrol number 6 by Dennis Culver and Chris Burnham.
I do like Chris Burnham. Oh man.
I've heard nothing but great things on this thing, because it's very a lot of callbacks to the old Silver Age villains and such. It even has General Immortus, who's their first villain. So it should be cool.
Ghouls Just Want to Have Fun, number 1.
By Cyndi Lauper.
Is this one of the quarterly $9 books?
Yeah.
These must do well. They just keep throwing them out there.
I think it's a way to put a lot of new people. I think this is their trial book, where they like throw a lot of people that you haven't seen before.
Just in an anthology.
Yeah. I mean, sure enough, there are some names in here. You have Adam Goldberg writing something from the Goldbergs, the writer.
Yeah, right. it is a good way to give unknowns a chance too, though. Yeah. You're right.
The only name there I recognize is John Arcudi. In terms of writers. On the art, it's a little different. They have some veterans in there, like Sean McManus and Dexter Soy, Tyler Crook, Javier Rodriguez.
Yeah, I'd be
it's curious. Got a Question story, if you're a Question fan like me, of Mary Marvel and Dr. Psycho. Dr. Psycho is such a great Wonder Woman villain. He's one of my favorites.
I'm curious when all these new writers come in. I mean, they all write in full script. They write in Marvel method. Do they talk to their artists first to see what their preferences are, or they just do their stories and then give them to the artist, and then that's that?
I would think they do their stories, give them to the artist, and then do the dialogue. But I don't know for sure.
Well,
it would be interesting.
Here's that Gargoyle of Gotham, which looks like a pretty big deal. It's four issues, 48 pages, or $7 a piece, all cardstock. And that looks like Batman's taking his shit on the Noir edition. I don't know what he's doing. I don't like that cover at all.
I like it because it's so him. That's Grandpa. Like even when he was doing Bloodshot covers for Valiant, it was insane. His art style is just insane. And his poses are very different.
I love there's a few in like 4 pages in here. Those look great.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
I think his art is you either like it or you don't though. It's very stylistic.
Yeah, who was the guy that was originally on that Tim Drake Robin?
Oh,
Ross?
God dang, I should know that. That guy, I really grew on me.
You really liked him.
Oh my
That
God,
first issue, I was
he's
like,
the
what
guy
the
that
hell?
did
Rico Rossi, right?
Yeah, Riley Rossimo.
Riley Rossmo.
Yeah, the guy who did Proof for Image. And Green something. Like he did a lot of Image books before he ever came to DC. And then he was on Harlequin, which is his art style seems a little more for Harlequin just because of the way it's drawn. I mean, and the kind of character she is. But man, the way he drew the pier and all of the characters that were on the Gotham pier and the way the boats were done, and I just loved it. It looked like its own world. It really grew on me. The first two issues were a little once I got captured in the story and started to like his art, I was very upset when he left.
It reminded me of like Batman Beyond art. Where it was like really everybody was too skinny and angular, and they didn't seem like they were proportionally correct to me.
Oh, no, they weren't. That's what I loved about it, because Gotham to me is a bunch of weird people.
Yeah.
And the people that would live on the pier on all these boats and just live on those boats, God, he just drew them so well.
I think I always wanted to have a houseboat. I thought it'd be pretty cool.
To live on a boat?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to.
No.
Well, cool. I just know so many people that have been on boats for long periods of time that ended up having that equilibrium problem. Have you heard about that?
Oh, no, I have not.
Yeah, it's basically you come back and it for I don't know, it could last months. You feel like you're floating, like you're on water.
Yeah.
Like you're not on steady ground. That doesn't seem too fun to me.
Mm-mm.
I don't know if everybody gets that, but I do have a couple of friends that went on like vacations on a boat and they came back and for a month their equilibrium was all shot. Superman, The Last Days of Lex Luthor. This should be another great one because of Mark Waid and Brian Hitch. Looking forward to that. Batman White Knights presents. You said did you read this one?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, you liked it. You were back on board.
I was like probably time for me to jump off the White Knight universe train. I've read enough, and read it anyway. I was like, oh, pretty good, and yeah, it's a fun universe. I like what they're doing. Oh, I really like this Riddler too. This Riddler year one.
This is the collected edition of the comic.
Yeah.
Written by Paul Dano, the actor.
I usually hate when actors write, because I'm like, taking our jobs. They need to stay in their lane, you know. And but he's done a good job so far.
The interesting thing about this one, at least personal interest, is a coworker of mine, a female coworker of mine, said she knew I was into comics because of the way my cube looks, and she said, do you know anything about this Paul Dano Riddler year one? And I said, yeah, I'm getting it. And she goes, my daughter wants it because she's obsessed with Paul Dano. And I said, oh, that's kind of weird.
That is weird.
Yeah, because I was like, how's your daughter? And she's really young. And if you look at the movie, he's really a dark character.
He's not been a happy-go-lucky actor in anything.
No, No, he's psychotic, and
Yeah.
he's gonna kill everybody in Gotham. And she said, please buy this entire series for me. So yeah, so I've been buying this for her, and she's been paying me for every issue. So it's kind of
Jesus.
interesting.
She's gonna be a serial killer. She's gonna raise a serial killer.
Yeah, because he does play a good Riddler, but a very different Riddler.
Yes.
Yes,
That's
it reminded me a lot of the Scarecrow in Titan season 3 because
okay.
it's very twisted.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta get some time for that one. That's one of those where Brandy does.
They're already on
My wife
season
doesn't want to
4,
watch.
but you know how I'm a mood person? Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna jump right into season 4. I'm gonna take a break for a while. I can't do it. I can't just stay focused on one thing like for a long time. Like I'll finish a season and then move on to another thing.
What was that heist show that you were watching constantly when you were
Oh, Money Heist.
Money Heist? Yeah.
That was an exception to the rule. That one I became obsessed with. Well, there's a couple of shows I'm obsessed with. That, Yellowstone, and any side show that comes off of any whatever that guy's Tyler Sheridan show. If it's
Oh, okay. 803 or what? 1883.
1883 and 1983 and what all the different shows, even the Sylvester Stallone one, Tulsa King. He did that one and I loved it.
Okay.
Like I'm obsessed with that guy. Like he writes like a comic book. Like not like a current comic book, but like a comic book in the 80s when it was very like soap opera and there's like 4 or 5 threads in
Yeah.
each issue. He does that and it's very addictive. So you like, oh God, I gotta see how that ends. Or so you just like binge it.
I think I watched 3 or 4 seasons of Yellowstone, and then I think I canceled. Was it Peacock that it's on?
Peacock has Yellowstone, but it's one of those weird ones. Oh, God, I can't. Peacock has the seasons, but it doesn't have it as it's coming out. You have to watch it on Paramount.
Oh,
So
Paramount.
as soon as Paramount finishes, then it goes over to Peacock.
Yeah.
But all the other spin-offs, they're on Paramount.
Gotcha. I cut that one too.
Yeah, I haven't cut anything.
We have been like primarily watching BritBox and Acorn, these 2 streamers that are all BBC, British, ACN, AVN, not AVN. These Canadian
Isn't that adult porn?
Yeah. All we do is watch AVN all day.
Well, now I get it.
Yeah.
Just sit there and watch porn all day.
But we've been going down this freaking British murder rabbit hole, and it's been constant. It's been constant. We don't watch anything else, hardly ever. And I'm like, why am I paying for these streaming services? It's been 3 months, and we haven't taken it off these 2 streamers. So let's just cut those for a while until we miss them. And
that's the way you should do it, I think. In other words, you should cancel things as you're caught up and then move on to something else.
Yeah, and then pop back
instead
over.
of having it all at once when you can't watch it all anyway.
Yeah. So I'm like, when something's crazy cool, it bubbles up. People talk about it, and we can hop back over and get that. And they have specials all the time, especially on Prime. You can add another stream for like 99 cents for 2 months or something.
Yep.
But I don't know. I do kind of miss Netflix. I had so many people using my Netflix with passwords that, like, when they did the new thing, it was going to cost me $6.99 per person. Yeah. That was mooching off of me, and it was going to be like $50.
Cancel, start over if possible. Yeah.
I'm like, I'm just going to cancel it. So nope. I'm just going to tell everybody I'm sorry. the soup line is over. You know. You're gonna have to get your own, and then if I want it again, I can get it for like $6.
Yeah. You know what's really good is Pluto TV if you can take commercials. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's free. And then
So
there's
is
a
Tubi. Tubi's
and
really
so is
good.
Plex. Plex just started showing Chips, and I love that show. Like
Yeah.
Ponch and John on motorcycles. So I'm like watching that anytime because I've seen every episode. I watch that like when I'm doing stuff and just want something on the
I
background.
haven't watched Chips. I don't think I watched Chips in the 80s.
Oh, I love
I don't
that was my
ever
show.
remember watching.
And I'm
That's
still
cool.
enjoying it. Like I get wrapped in it. I
I was
just
a
think
Knight
it's
Rider guy. I really like Knight Rider.
for me. But I'm older than you, so
I think we're about the
Knight
same.
Rider was at least was it like 4 years after that? 5 years? Wasn't Knight Rider in the 80s?
Yeah.
I think Chips was in the 70s.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I mean, I like you said you had 4 channels. I had PBS and then 2 of the networks because we didn't get the third one. And whatever was on the third one, we would only get it when it was like raining or something, and like the
Oh,
sky was
really?
overcast, and like the
Yeah.
antenna would bounce and get the signal, and that was a good day when that happened. But most of the time, we only got the two of the channels plus PBS, so I missed out on like a third of what television had to offer. A lot.
Yeah, it was ABC, NBC, PBS, and CBS. And that was it. And then later on we were lucky enough to have like UHF, which eventually brought Fox in, and then Fox became like a premier original content provider. But before that, Fox was more of a syndicated.
Oh yeah, I was so
Let's show
jealous
that
of my
stuff.
friends that had MTV and cable. I was like, oh god, that's so
Yeah.
cool.
Once we got cable, it was pretty amazing because I didn't have MTV right away, so I would one of the stations would show videos like after midnight. So I would I would sometimes stay after midnight to watch music videos.
Oh yeah, 120 Minutes was like one of the things that I really liked. It was on MTV. That it was like all independent shows. I'd stay up
Yeah.
and watch that one. It was late. God, can you believe it? Now you can't even find a music video anymore.
Yeah, I don't think you have to go to YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now we're at a bunch of trades here, collections. Nothing really stands out to me, but you might see some things that catch your eye.
It's all new stuff. So I got the singles. They're I don't double dip anymore, so I don't jump into that.
Some
If
fun
you're into
facsimiles.
manga, yeah.
Did you see the Batman #1 facsimile again? Or getting Detective 58, which is what's Detective 58?
Detective 58, the Boy Wonder. I don't think it's the.
That's not the first Robin. So what happened in Detective 58? Do we know?
The Penguin's first appearance.
Was that the first?
Yeah.
Historic
It says
first
Mastermind
appearance.
known as
Yeah.
Penguin in his historic first appearance.
I did not know that. I did not know it was in Detective and not Batman. That's cool. Flash 105.
I don't know if Batman. Well, it says featuring all original stories. Because if Superman was originally reprints, a lot of it, like it'd have a new story, but it was reprinting stories that had already been published in Action. I guess Batman was a little different.
Yeah, I remember that.
Flash 105. This one I'm gonna buy, but I would buy the original. I'm so close to completing the run. Like I'll never have Showcase #4. I know that's without my grasp. It's not in my grasp, but I can get Flash 105.
You never know. You might hit the
No, I can't even
lotto.
get a 1.0. It's just it's the first Silver Age book.
Yeah.
in comics. Like
Yeah. It's a
that's
big
what
deal.
kicked off. It's a big deal.
Yeah. I love that George Perez Wonder Woman. I have I got to meet him and at the Indiana Comic Con and hang out with him for a little bit. He had a great big line, but he was very very gracious with me.
He's a
Signed
nice guy. He
signed
really
my Wonder
is.
Woman, and what a wonderful ambassador to comics, and will be missed.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's an interesting cover to Superman Batman World's Finest 19. It looks like a Nicolas Cage Superman.
it it definitely does.
Oh, it is. It says Nicolas Cage Super Variant. That's interesting. They don't have the main cover as the
That's
image.
that's
It's the
super fun.
Nicolas Cage one.
Who's doing
You
that?
know you know the history of the Nicolas Cage thing, right?
Yeah, he well,
He was
he's a big comic guy, and he was gonna be
it
Superman
was it
for a
was it was
while.
almost like a done deal before they canceled that movie.
Yeah,
It was like he was cast as him. It was gonna have a Thanagarian spider he was fighting, and it was gonna have Brainiac as the villain. And there's a great documentary on it. Um, Kevin Smith actually came in to write some of it, but that's cool that they
yeah.
put that on there. Batman Incorporated is very interesting. It's sort of a murder mystery. I'm not caught up on it, but
I read
somebody's
the
killed.
first couple, and I didn't like it that much, so I thought I'd give it a while to
I
simmer.
like it because it's somebody was murdering all the people that trained
Yeah,
Ghostmaker and Bruce Wayne.
yeah.
So you get to learn a little bit about some of them were known, some of them are new. It's pretty interesting.
Kind of slow though, I thought.
Danger Street #9. I still gotta crack this open, but with Tom King stuff, I sure like to sit on them until they're all there.
I can't tell you that you're wrong there. A lot of times that's the way to do it.
It really is. You see a lot of cool threads that you wouldn't see on a
Yeah.
month to month basis.
Peacemaker tries hard. That's been fun. I've liked that a lot. Kyle Starks was made for that book.
Yeah, he's so different since James Gunn got a hold of him, but I enjoy it. That wasn't the Peacemaker in the comics prior to Gunn putting him in the Suicide Squad movie.
Not my Peacemaker.
It's not, but it's a very interesting take on it. Not to say that it doesn't bother me that they changed him. Like I like to see different things in film as long as
Yeah,
it's done good.
yeah. And they had fun with it. It was fun. Those were good movies.
Yeah, they are. And then the TV show was pretty good too. I liked it. Batman and Scooby Doo Mysteries. Looks like they have the Royal Flush Gang in there and
Huh,
Batman Beyond.
that's cool.
Tales from the Titans has Donna Troy on the cover.
Book I started but never got a chance to finish was this Batman Gotham by Gaslight. I've heard good things. I need to circle back around to that.
Oh, that's the Jack the Ripper
Yeah.
one. Yeah, I've been fortunate that they haven't. They're not printing a lot. Last month was horrible. 3 omnibuses from the Golden Age.
Yeah.
But this month, I don't see a lot of older material, which is kind of good for me.
Oh, I love
I
this.
don't
I
have
love
to buy anything.
I love the New Frontier. That was a good book. Got a nice
Yeah,
deluxe
I have
edition
the
there.
absolute of that.
Ex Machina is collected as a complete series. That's awesome. That was a great book too. I love that. I forgot that was a DC book.
Wildstorm.
Oh, yep.
It's
Yep.
DC Wildstorm. Not connected to Wildstorm, but it was kind of like its own thing.
You a Jack Kirby person? Do you like Commandy and stuff that he did?
Oh, I love Commandy. It's my second favorite thing next to OMAC.
I really enjoyed the Commandy Challenge book. I
Yeah.
thought that was fun, but I've never read any of his original stuff.
Oh, that's great. If you like Planet of the Apes kind of stuff, you'll really like Commandy.
Yeah. We should do another challenge book. That was fun.
Yeah, well, there was one before that one, in the 80s. So I would recommend that one to you.
What was this? What was the character?
It was just a bunch of DC characters. It was just
cool.
called Challenge and with a question mark, I believe. And it was told in the same way Commandy was. So you know how Commandy switched writers? The thing that makes Challenge kind of the challenge is for one writer to write and then the other writer have to take off from where they left off without knowing where they
Yeah.
So they don't collaborate. They kind of get the material after it's written and then they say, okay, now you take over and you write something. And that's what the Commandy Challenge was, and the one that was called Challenge as well. So I don't know if back when I was in junior high, we would sometimes do like fiction writing in English class where somebody would start a story and then you write the next part of the story, and you can change it like dramatically. You can even change genres if you did it right. And then you would leave it to the next person and the next person would have to take it from there. That's what Challenge is about. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Dude, look at this. The Detective Chimp Casebook, a volume of never before reprinted Silver Age classics, collecting stories such as Monkey Shines at the Museum, Monkey Business on the Briny Deep, The Case of the Fishy Alibi, from Adventures of Rex the Wonder Dog.
Yeah, that's the one that's the only character in Shadow Pact that I don't own the first appearance of is Detective Chimp. That book is so hard to find, and when you do find it, it's ridiculously priced.
Everything he's in, I enjoy. When I see
Yeah.
Detective Chimp come on the scene, he's always well written. He's always fun, and I'm glad they're doing this. I wish they'd give him a miniseries or something.
Well, he was in Justice League Dark.
Yeah,
so
I know. But
hopefully
that was a big crowd.
That was, but I think we'll see him in this Night Terrors. I do.
Yeah.
In some form. Just because of the way the theme of the book is, so I'm sure we'll see him. I don't read a lot of the solicits other than when me and you do this because I buy all the DC. So
yeah, I was like, does he even want to look at DC solicits since he buys everything? But all right. Blue Beetle comes out August 18th. We don't really read
every solicit. We just kind of look at the creative teams.
Yeah, exactly. Did you see that Blue Beetle comes out August 18th? So the series will be out the next month.
Yeah. They cool. Just wrapped up the other one too, Graduation Day. I like the preview, but I've enjoyed Shazam, and I
liked Shazam.
I really liked Flash because well, I expected to like it. I knew it had Michael Keaton, and I was already like 100% biased because I just love Batman 89.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And he's in it quite a bit. Like it's not like
a mid-credit scene.
Yeah, it's not like he just comes in. He's a major player, and it follows. I don't know if you read Flashpoint, but
yeah,
it's almost like it follows Flashpoint pretty good, like in terms of themes. it just flips the plot a little bit because it's Flashpoint is too grandiose to try to do in film. It's got too many characters, and then you got the Atlantis versus the Amazons and all kinds of other craziness that's in there. But it takes like 2 or 3 themes and kind of runs with it, and then ties it into the DC film property. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I think we'll, and because it underperformed, we'll probably never see another one, will we?
I don't think so. DC screwed themselves. They really did. They should have let these movies play out before they said they were going to restart everything, and they should have just left it. Like, we're going to let these play out, and then we'll announce Gunn and what his plan is. They didn't need to announce it 3 or 4 years before we see the first film.
Well, but you had the Snyder Bros all up in arms because, if he's not getting greenlit for new stuff,
that's okay. They could have left him not
said
knowing.
that there's not going to be anything.
Yeah, because there's 2 things fighting against everything. I think people are burned out. Like Guardians, I think had success, and Spider-Man had success, but other properties haven't. And those 2 had success because the previous ones did. And it's like everybody wants to see the characters again. So Flash was sort of new, but taking off from Justice League, which wasn't a big blockbuster.
I loved it.
Yeah, I thought I'm a fan of the Snyderverse. I like the Snyderverse being darker, and not as Disney-fied. And I liked when 20th Century Fox was separate from Disney because it just seemed like they could do their own thing without becoming Disney-fied. And I liked that. I liked that the X-Men and the Fantastic Four were sort of their own things. And I do like that Spider-Man is still held by Sony. I really do.
Yeah,
I think it's
don't give it up.
I would not give it up. That they're doing justice by it, and they should just keep it. Don't ever sell it to Disney.
Rent it to Marvel every once in a while if they need to do something, but
exactly, just make a contract. Just
don't ever get rid of it.
You can use them on these terms. All right, well that got us through the previews.
Yeah. Let's slide over to CBSI and check out their Hot 10. We're going to start off with number 1, She-Hulk. Number 3 from 2004. This is a $50 book now. I don't know why.
It's because of Spider-Boy. The guy who is Spider-Boy is named in here, even though it's not even the same character.
I hate when they do dumb stuff like that.
But it's written by the same person, so that's what they're speculating. Is that this was Spider-Boy before he became Spider-Boy.
It was in Slot's head back then. So
yeah, that's why that book's hot.
Void Rivals, the first issue, 1 in 100. Warren Johnson is up to $250. And hell, Kirkman figured it out again. He knows how to play comics, man.
I knew this was going to happen because I watched that. I don't know if you heard that YouTube guy, Comic Tom.
No.
101. Have you ever heard of him? He's a podcaster, and he does a speculation show. And he let something slip pretty early, and he's like, Transformers versus G.I. Joe is going to be hot. And I was like, well, why is it going to be hot? And then he like sort of tied it to, well, I think Kirkman's taking over, which we kind of were rumored that he was going to take over the Hasbro properties. And sure enough, once I knew there was like spec behind Void Rivals, I was like, oh, they're going to show Transformers or something like that. It's like I knew way ahead of time, and I told Bill, I hope you bought it because it's probably going to go up because, this is the re-imaging of the Transformers.
Yeah, it was a good surprise for me. Although I actually got it spoiled. I actually got that spoiled, but I still enjoyed it. I enjoyed the book a lot. Amazing Spider-Man 41 comes in at 3. His first Rhino.
Just bought this one like, I don't know, 8 months ago.
Yeah, all the rogues for Spider-Man were fun first appearances to pick up, 4 or 5 years ago. Now they're crazy prices. But this is CGC 6.5 at 1,100, a 3.5 at 375, and a 2.5 at 300.
Hot because Rhino's going to be in the Craven film.
Yeah. The Peach Momoko 1 in 25 silk first issue second print is up to about $75. This is Emily Kim and Iguara on that book. Street Fighter 6, the Art Germ Virgin variant, limited to 400 copies, is selling for $120. This is writer Bingus and artist Jeffrey Chumba Cruz.
So mad I didn't get that I wanted to. I just didn't want to invest in all 5 books shipping the same month.
Right.
But I did pick up 3 of the issues and missed one.
Coyotes #1 goes to a second print. This is Sean Lewis and Caitlin Yarsky. This is going for $40 for the second print.
I didn't like that series. So weird.
I didn't think it was great. I don't get it. Well, sometimes.
I don't know how they're gonna adapt it. That's for sure. It's just so bizarre. Like, it's even hard to describe the first issue.
Yeah. Rank 7, we have Wonder Woman 7.99, the Raza foil. Raza is, for the most part, most of his stuff really hits with me. I like his style a lot. This is limited to 1,000 copies. It's going for $50.
Old Mike would just buy all of the Wonder Woman covers. Not the 1 in 1,000 though.
Proud of you, Mike. You come a long way.
Yeah.
Something is Killing the Children. The first issue came back with CGC 9/8 going for $800. And there are about 2,000 of those 9/8 out there right now. At rank 9, we have Amazing Spider-Man #15. This is Stanley and Steve Ditko. CGC 2.5 went for $760, and a 4.5 went for $1050. It's first Craven, and I like the Craven.
Yeah, I really want this one.
I like the Craven trailer. I thought that was pretty good. It looked really fun. I can't wait to see that. Rounding out.
Notice the spelling error in that? The 2 Z's and the 2 S's?
Yeah. Somebody's drunk on the website. The Sickness #1. This Kyle and I both love this cover. This is Jenna Cha doing this.
Did you buy it?
No.
Yeah, I didn't buy it.
I'll probably read it though. I think I got a preview copy. If you ask me, this is $20 to $25, and it just sells because it's cool. It's very cool. One of my honorable mentions down here is the Luna Snow 1 in 25 variant by Young Jun Cho, $80 raw. I don't remember this book.
Yeah, it came out the same time as Swordmaster.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
She's the pop star.
Yeah. Very attractive cover.
Yeah, I like these Asian characters that were in Agents of Atlas or whatever they were called.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are great characters.
And our throwback cover is Youthful Romances #11, CGC 6.0 that sold for $1,600. 9 copies on the census at all. So her boobs just don't look right. They look like they're.
It's not the boob. It's the
The dress,
The dress, I think,
it's not
it's
working.
not cupping the breast well enough on
Uh,
the right side.
no, they're just kind of shooting off to the side there. All right, we're gonna
Went to a
go.
heck of a romance comic panel at the Heroes Con. It was really good.
Oh yeah, who was on
Yeah,
it?
it was a woman that's done like Tomorrow's type book for romance comics.
Ah,
So she
cool.
was like an historian, and the other woman worked in the 70s in the bullpen, and she was like the uh, Dear Abby column writer for the letters um, back then. So it was a really interesting panel.
I am
So where?
behind on that one romance book that Tom King's doing. I think I've only
Oh,
read.
Love Everlasting.
Yeah, I've read about 5 of them, 4 or 5 of them. I still.
I'm only 2 issues behind. I did finish the other Love, whatever it was called.
Yeah, that was.
I thought that was amazing, especially the back matter. Holy crap.
Yeah, a little twisted. A little twisted.
Yes, it was twisted, but they fed off of each other.
Yeah.
The cannibal and the bondage woman. Well, he kind of turned her into what she was.
But yeah, reading the back matter kind of illuminated what
Oh
the
my God.
what the author
It
was
was
thinking.
so, yeah,
Yeah.
it was so. I'll read anything that she does going forward. And the
Well,
collaboration she had with the writer, the translator, was just phenomenal. I just thought um, he did such a fantastic job with the dialogue. He was great.
we're going to slide over to FOC, and it's going to be a little thin. DC's taking a holiday. I think Marvel might be taking a holiday as well. So let's see what we've got. Hey, man, Cal Exit is back. Did we finish the last Cal Exit Black Mask? I don't know if we did.
Let me check.
Let's go ahead and just relaunch this one, though. Battle of Universal City. The first Cal Exit was really good, and then I didn't see one for a while. Maybe they finished it up.
I don't think it did.
You know what? Just hell with it. We'll just start it
Well,
again. Nobody will know.
I don't have 4 and 5. I have 1, 2, and 3. But God, they are notorious for
Yeah.
canceling the shipment or saying we only had 500 copies and you don't get one. Or
Yeah.
yeah, it's, I don't understand I don't understand how a company makes business off of a speculator market, selling less for the speculator to get money. Like it just doesn't.
What does that? How does that help you?
How does that help you as a publisher?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Unless you're holding some in backstock.
Yeah.
That's the only way you could.
Yeah. You'd rather sell it on eBay than
Yeah, in
store
other words, you have 500 copies, you hold back 250 and then just give 250 out, and then you put all the other ones on eBay. Like it's just insane.
it. It is. Comics Book Kill by Scout Comics is a noir for fans of Kirby, Brubaker, and Phillips. That's me. That looks pretty damn good. I don't know what Devil's Cut is.
I don't know, but the covers are very odd.
Very strange. Wraparound covers. Mirka Andolfo, Brian
I
Azzarello.
don't think I bought this.
There's a ton of people on it. Brian
Oh,
Azzarello.
is this the dispensary or whatever?
Distillery.
Distillery.
Yeah. A new publisher redefining creator comments.
Yeah, this is Distillery. I did order this. This is an odd thing. It's the Comixology creators
Yeah.
forming their company, and they're going to try to make digital copies collectible. In other words, they're only allowing so many downloads of the digital copy, and they come out before the print copy, and then the print copy will never have, like it is whatever they're publishing, and
Yeah.
that's it.
What are you going to do with the pirate copies?
I don't know.
I mean, is the pirate copy going to look different from your digital copy? You know? Good luck. Good luck to you,
I
distillery.
think they're doing something weird with it involving NFTs, and I don't know what they're doing. Some kind of encryption.
Yeah.
Hunt, Kill, Repeat number 5. That's a really good series if you like Greek gods. It's pretty neat. Mother Russia used to be a Alterna book, and now it's a CEX, Comics Experience. I just got my first Omega Gang.
Does CEX do?
Omega Gang is Scout.
Scout. Okay.
A lot of Rick and Morty. 7 Years into the Darkness. I am buying this one. That's CEX. I don't know if you read She Bites, but that's amazing.
Is it good?
Oh God,
No, I
it's
haven't read
good.
that one.
That's about a vampire that becomes a babysitter or hires a babysitter because she's a kid.
Yeah.
So it's oh God, I love the art and the story on that book. It's really good. This is a release of all 3 issues. Tales of Acania I bought, but I haven't read it yet. Third Wave 99. That's an amazing comic. I didn't think this thing would be interesting, but it is. It's like a surf comic book with kind of FBIs and people in witness protection, and it's really crazy.
Very cool. Is that all you had from Lunar?
That's all I have from Lunar.
Let's slide over and see what Image has. Image is still on the front page, top of the page at preview. So we'll see how long that lasts. But for right now, they're going to give us Dead Lucky's 7th issue and the 25th Firepower by Kirkman.
I'm trying to find this. Where do I find it off of Previews World?
Oh, go under Catalog.
Okay.
And slide down to the bottom where it says Final Orders.
Oh, okay, got it.
Lowe's getting a compendium. Oh man, I loved Lowe so much. Such a good book.
Remender is pretty good. I like
most of his stuff for sure. I love Deadly Class.
I discovered Remender from podcasting way back in the day. I don't even remember the podcast. I think it was Around Comics. They interviewed him for Sea of Red and Strange Girl, and I became obsessed with Strange Girl. That's the one that clicked with me, and then I bought everything after that he ever did.
Around Comics was a great podcast.
Yeah, I used to listen to that pretty regularly. Scotty Young was on it. And then Chris went to 11 O'Clock Comics.
Right.
When Around Comics wrapped up. And I think Around Comics came back, but I never came back.
I didn't know that. I thought they pod faded forever, like Collected Comics Library and some of those other ones.
Well, Collected Comics Library I actually met Chris and
Yeah, I saw that picture.
Tom,
Yeah.
yeah.
I saw that picture. Yeah, Heroes Con, right?
Yeah.
He
He's
came back for a
interesting
while.
because he has that radio voice, and his voice is really like that. So I always thought his voice was like he was trying to make it like a radio voice,
Oh, yeah, okay.
but he really talks like that. Like he sounds like a radio DJ just talking to him.
That is weird when they do have that voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's the Nailbiter Compendium as well. That's a great series. Oh, Newburn's back with issue 9. Feels like that's been a long time coming. Old Dog. First couple issues of Old Dog were great, and I just got them stacked up. Per Evil is a Mirka Andolfo, Laura Bragger book. I have trouble with Mirka Andolfo written books because I don't think English is her first language, and sometimes just doesn't translate. A little clunky, I think. But what was that pig book that she did? It was pretty good. Unnatural.
Yeah, I like that one. That's where the pigs couldn't have sex with the other or be associated with another.
Yeah, you couldn't mix species.
Yeah, couldn't mix species.
Then she fell in love with a wolf. Still haven't read that first World Tree.
Spawn is still really good.
I'm turning into you. I gotta be in the right mood for Kent Tinian.
It's a good thing because you tend to like things more.
Yeah.
It's hard to read things. I'm a mood TV watcher though too, so.
Yeah.
We got Creed.
I didn't realize that was the comic. I missed that first issue, I guess.
Yeah, it's not really Creed. It's Creed as an older guy, and his daughter's the boxer now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Neighbors I haven't read yet. You've read it, right?
I read the first issue. I thought it was all right. Yeah.
007 I did read. That's Philip Kennedy Johnson. I love his stuff.
I'm like Bill. I read a lot of number ones.
Gargoyles continues to be good. I find their Disney stuff very interesting.
It
seems like they're
freak you out a little bit?
Villains though.
That it went Image, Boom, Dynamite, and we're down in the back half. Just like that.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Well, we wanted this as fans, and that's what we got.
Did we want this?
We bitched as fans about there be only one distributor and their shitty packing and everything we bitched, and then we goes away, and then we bitch because we missed stuff. So true. It's like we asked for it and we got it. Yeah. Now we don't have sales numbers anymore. Now it's like
that sucks. I really miss those. I can't believe how much I like to look at those.
Yeah, I love to look at them. Look at the top 100 or top 200 or 300.
It's 500 there at the end.
Yeah, it got really down there in the weeds.
Robotech, Rick Hunter.
Children of the Comet.
Scarlet Couture, Munich File.
Oh, this is the Titan one. This is the Hard Case Crime.
Is that a cosplay cover?
Yeah, the third one or the fourth one.
How do you have cosplay for a book that just came out?
Well, they have it on because they hire these beautiful cosplayers because they sell these things.
Yeah, that's true.
I bought a whole cosplay set from the last one. It's very sexy.
Okay, Mike. In our limited FOC, what's your pick, man?
I think I'll go with Scarlet, Couture,
Oh, all right.
Dan Panosian, cover A.
Cover A. All right, I
Yeah.
like it. I am going to go with. I think I'm going to go with Distillery. See if they catch this lightning in a bottle with all these first appearances of new offerings. And
The tide's against you as an anthology.
I know.
If we
But I
were in
want it to
Japan,
succeed.
you'd have a better chance.
That's true. That's true. All right, let's go over to cover price and check out the top 20. As our guest, would you like to take the top 10?
Yes, I just need to find it first. I have it on my cell phone.
It's at Comics Heating Up, or it's the list that got emailed to you.
Yeah, I was going to my email. Cover price, right?
Yeah.
All right. This the top 10. We have Spider-Man 2099. We know exactly why
Yeah.
this is hot. It's from the movie. High sale of $200 for a CGC 9.8. This was dollar bin like prior to
Right.
the first movie, and then the first movie sort of sparked people's interest because we knew we were getting Spider-Man 2099. She-Hulk #3 we already talked about. It's because of Bailey Briggs, who is Spider-Boy, and that one 27 copies sold with a high sale of $50 and a raw copy for $11. Hulk Annual #1. This one's interesting because it's the first appearance of the eldest, and it's an annual. And it's also the start to the new Philip Kennedy Johnson. So they like launched the Philip Kennedy Johnson in an annual.
That's very cool.
I have to do something with Harley because she's going nuts. And I don't know where Barb went.
Oh, you want to go? I'll take over. You can come back.
Yeah, why don't you take over while I give her something?
Alrighty. At 4, we've got Spider-Man #7, still selling Spider-Boy. Can you believe that? We got another 41 copies of this with a high sale of $123 for a CGC 9.8. Raw's around $34. Now this is the Humberto Ramos spoiler version. At rank 5 is Marvel's Superheroes Secret Wars #8. We all love the black suit that later became Venom. This week sold another 35 copies of this, with a high sale of $680 for a CGC 9.8. Raw's around $156. For reference, I sold mine for half that. At rank 6, we have The Sickness. We talked about that. Fun book, fun cover. People are tracking it down. And 29 more copies of this sold with a high sale of $25 for Raw. Near mitts around $22. At rank 7, we have War of the Realms, the new Agents of Atlas from 2019. This is an Asian superhero team that we've been seeing different characters pop up and are very popular. Just on the last list. 35 more copies of this sold. High sale of $100 for a CGC 9.8. Raw's around $39. At rank 8, we have Coyotes #1. We talked about this a little earlier. Tracked 21 more copies of this selling with a high sale of $124 for a CGC 9.8. Raw's around $16. At 9, we have the Transformers #11 from 1985. This is the first Jetfire because of Void Rivals. 24 additional copies of this sold with a high sale of $165 for a CGC 9.8. Raw
Can I
is
ask
around
you a question
$8.
on that, Void Rivals? Was it a cameo or was it the Transformers in it for more than 2 pages?
About 2 pages.
Okay.
Maybe 3. Didn't do much. At rank 10, we have Amazing Spider-Man 209 from 1980. This is the first Craven, selling for 9.8, around 287, and fair market value, very fines, around $44.
This isn't the first Craven. The first Craven Silver Age. This is
Oh, okay.
the excitement for Calypso.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Oops.
Yeah.
So you can take the bottom 10 since you're back.
Okay. 11, Ultimate Fallout number 4. This has been, I think, been in the hot 10 or hot 20
Forever, yeah.
for 5 years now. I don't know. It's been a while. And this one's come up and down. The raw is 488 and the CGC 9.8 is 1,982. Who would have thunk it? I wonder if Bendis makes any money off of that.
I don't know.
Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars number 1. This was a great series that sold gazillions by Jim Shooter. That was a was basically Mattel saying we want to launch a toy, and he came up with an idea with the Beyonder, and then they launched the toys. The toys weren't as successful. It's interesting because Superpowers and Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars launched at the same time. Marvel had way more success in the comic books, whereas in the toys, Superpowers had way more success because they had multiple articulation and they look so much better than the Marvel, which didn't have joints in the knees or the elbows.
I had Superpowers. I did not have Secret Wars toys.
Yeah. Well, Secret toys, they didn't bend at the knees. They were like almost like inaction figures instead of action figures. And they came with these weird hologram shields. So I actually bought a handful of them, and there are a lot of foreign ones that are worth a lot of money because they weren't released in the United States. But I have almost all of the Superpowers with the exception of like the last wave, which is really hard to track down. We had like Mr. Miracle and Golden Gladiator, but like I have like Samurai from the cartoon of Super Friends and a bunch of other characters. It was a great line of toys. Yeah. And they usually featured like Orion, you can like switch his head from angry to happy, and Flash, if you push the arms together, the legs would move.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Green Lantern, if you push the legs together, he would raise his ring up. So they all had like Plastic Man. If you squeezed his legs, his neck would pop up. Really cool figures. Spider-Punk number 2. This is the Takashi Azaki cover. I think it's standard, right? If it doesn't say variant.
Right.
This one I do have. I actually bought Spider-Punk because of the visuals. I just thought he looked so cool.
It was fun. It was a fun book.
I haven't read the last 2, but I have read 1 through 3. We tracked 32 copies sold, a 7-day trend of 153%, a high sale of $56, and a CGC for a CGC, and the near market is fair market value of 5, so it's really not a lot for a raw. Spawn number 1, this one we beat to death every week.
That's a great
Not
one,
much to say. There's 2 million copies of this out there, and it's still I don't sell copies a lot, but I sold mine for 25 maybe like 10 years ago. So It was kind of similar to what it is now, though.
Yeah.
30.
Yeah. It's still
Uh,
trucking along.
ROM number 1. This one has always been kind of high because it's ROM, but fair market value of 45 and a high sale of 325 for a CGC 9.8. Will Robert Kirkman do this one because Hasbro owns him? Don't
Heck
know, but
yeah.
I know that Marvel is going to do the omnibus. Um, Hasbro has a lot of this stuff, so they could do a lot. Spider-Man number 7, the Herberto Ramos second print Virgin 1 in 25. This is crazy. It's the second print, and you have a variant on it. $235 for a CGC 9.8 and a fair market value of 43. That's huge.
Yeah.
Because this one probably would have cost 25.
Yeah, or less.
Double.
Yeah.
This depends on the store.
It does. Yeah, the bigger
If it's
stores
a
don't charge you as much.
bigger store, you'll get it cheaper. A small store, you'll get it depending on if they think how many subs they have for the original. It's weird the way they mathematically figure that out. Void Rivals, the Daniel Warren Johnson, he's going to be doing Transformers, so he did the cover, the 1 in
Yeah.
100.
That's right.
He's actually going to be doing Transformers number 1, so this is hotter than hell, and this is doing double ratio at 201 for fair market value.
Now,
I don't think they had time to CGC it.
this Daniel Warren Johnson is spreading himself thin, and my theory on that is
He was at Heroes.
once they get too many books, they can't. Their quality starts to slip.
I don't think he's gonna slip in Transformers. Not working for Robert Kirkman and Skybound. He's gonna want to make bank on it. Probably
He'll throw it. He'll phone it
probably
in over
loves
at DC.
Transformers too. Like I know a lot of artists that have drawn Transformers. They draw it because they love it. Like they were fans of the cartoon and the toy.
For sure.
So they're excited to draw these things. Ultimate Fallout number 4, the Sarah Pacelli second print.
That one I could own.
Yeah, the Bronze and Modern Gods guys picked this one about 6 months ago, so it's interesting that it's hot here now.
Yeah.
But that guy's obsessed with Miles Morales. He's always picking Miles stuff. Edge of Spider-Verse number 5. This is Peony Parker in the Spider-Verse. She's the cyber character, I think. This one's doing pretty good at a CGC 9.8 at 199.95. I don't think they have a raw version of it, but I have all of these. I've been buying all of the Spider-Verse stuff. Yeah. And I have mixed feelings about it. Like sometimes I'm really into it, and sometimes I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, I didn't like the last one.
Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, I was done. I was like, I'm not even gonna finish this one.
Amazing Spider-Man number 10. This is Spider-Punk's first appearance. So that's the fair market value of $82. That's huge.
That's huge. Yeah.
9.8. Sold for $295.
That's pretty high.
Yeah. And that wraps us up.
Good stuff. All right, it's time for the sneak peek at next week. We're going to start with Lunar, see what's coming out on. Let's see, the 4th and the 5th, right? Is that right? Are places going to be open on the 4th?
Well, no, they're probably open on the 5th. They're all the books that were shipped by Lunar were shipped last week.
Oh yeah, they've had their books for a while. Yeah,
they've had it. It just depends on if the stores are gonna stay open. I know. I think my store is gonna be closed, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, not all retailers take off July 4th. Um, I think Cowabunga, I'm pretty sure they don't take off that many days. Like they might take Thanksgiving
They
off
have
and Christmas.
well they have one day off a week every Monday, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm sure they have holidays off. They'd
Not
have
all of
to.
them. Not all of them.
Well, I think the main two owners, Eric and James, they probably take off. James has a newborn child, right?
Does he?
Yeah, I think he does.
Like this is his second?
Yeah,
Wow.
that's why they didn't go to Heroes this year.
Yeah, okay. That makes
Yeah.
sense. All right, let's look at DC's offerings and what's in here. We're doing all the hardcovers for the One Bad Day stuff.
Yes.
Those were all pretty good.
Adventures of Superman's fantastic.
Is it?
Yeah, this is Tom Taylor, and what he's doing such a fantastic job because he's merging John Kent's story with Injustice and Earth 2, which are two books that he worked on in the past.
Will they
And it's turning into a fantastic
de-age him?
story. No, they won't de-age him, but
God dang it.
this is really good.
Can you
I'm
do 10
upset
again,
it's not
please?
I'm upset it's not an ongoing because it feels like it should be. Trying to look at it here to see. Well, there's one of your Stabbity Bunnies, Emmett story for
Yeah.
Kyle.
Yeah.
That's Kyle's pick of the week.
In,
Stabbity Bunny Emmett story.
yeah. There's Night Terror's Batman.
Yeah, Night Terror's Batman. Now we're starting to get all. Ooh,
Yeah.
Gilliam March. God, I love that cover.
Yeah, he's great.
Oh my God, that's good. I'm glad it's cover A because that's what I bought.
Yeah, that looks great. I have high hopes for this event. I hope I'm all in. I hope I love it. Stay all in.
We got Black Adam. We got First Blood. They have a psychedelic cover E by Howard Porter. It looks like one of those neon posters you'd see at Spencer's.
Yeah. These all look so good. Joker looks
Got the
great.
Joker.
Poison Ivy looks great.
Ravager. That one will probably be under-ordered. That Felipe Massafera cover looks fantastic.
My one concern is, do you remember when Convergence had all that 2-month event and like everything that was Convergent had like the same 2 or 3 pages, like at every one?
Yeah, the dome. Explaining the dome.
Explaining the dome over and over and over again. I hope there's nothing like that. Oh, these are great. Look at the Poison Ivy. I like that Jamie McKelvey. I haven't seen a Jamie McKelvey DC cover for a while. Oh, that's awesome.
Got My Greatest Adventure, the first appearance of the Doom Patrol facsimile edition. That would be a good one to get. You can choose from just regular cover or a foil cover. Peacemaker tries hard. We already talked about that. That should be fantastic. Pink Elephant looks good. It's by a creative team I really like on the Sumerian, formerly known as Behemoth.
Oh, yeah. I like Behemoth.
Pop Scars is also one of those. Short comic book bin blue. That's interesting. They sell comic bins. I gotta find something for Golden Age. I've been buying Golden Age and drawer boxes. Like you can't fit a Golden Age bag and board in there. You have to. You have to either go magazine if you're going that route, or I gotta find some other
Do your
solution.
black labels fit in there, right?
Oh no, they fit in the magazines.
Yeah.
So you have two choices in drawer boxes. You got the standard size, which is Silver Age and up, and then you got the magazine size, which fits any magazine, which would fit Golden Age, but you have a lot of sliding because the Golden Age is not that wide as a magazine. They're just bigger than Silver Age. Steelworks number 2.
Maybe if you had a Golden Age box, like just a cheap short box, a Golden Age cheap short box that would fit inside your drawer box, and then would keep them stable.
No, because the drawer boxes are specific. It wouldn't fit. But
Oh.
I might find. I'm gonna go look at just like a standard drawer box, like a standard short box, and see if it'll fit a Golden Age bag and board.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot. And then there's a period of time where 12 cents is bigger than later 12 cents. Like I'm finding that with like when the Golden Age is switching over to the Silver Age.
Yeah.
They almost want to go into a Golden Age bag. So I think that's it.
Yep, that is
DC.
it. Let's slide on down and see what is going on at Image for at least one more week. Hey Kids Comics on issue 4. It's a great cover. I Hate This Place hits issue 10. Now, you were a big Jimmy Robinson fan, right?
I love Jimmy Robinson. Rabbit.
Did you get a chance to read that first issue?
Yeah, it's sort of like a post-apocalyptic world separated by the rich and the poor, and the poor sort of live in the junk that the rich throw away. And there is, like, in the first issue, you get introduced to Junk Rabbit, who you don't know like how he sides with anything, but he's appearing in the junkyard and is trashing. He like trashed a blogger / podcaster, but you don't really know much about him. So I'm sure in the second issue they'll flush it out. The first issue was more world building. Like here's what set this world. Here's what caused it, and it's basically we just got careless with throwing away trash. And then the rich moved into space, or live in these huge towers where the trash is, cleaned up and away from these towers. It's really good.
It sounds really good. M. Maxwell Prince, my boy from Ice Cream Man, has a new series called Swan Songs. So I'm really excited to see this. This is all about endings. All these stories are about endings. Ends of the world, end of the marriage, end of the sentence. These should be pretty fun.
Phantom Road. I like this one a lot. That one's coming out. It has issue 5.
Yeah, Phantom
new
Road
issue
was good.
Spawn.
Yeah, Phantom Road was
for you
good.
Spawn fans. Torrent number 5 wraps up. This series is fantastic. I love it.
Weird Work is Jordan Thomas and Shaky Kane.
World Tree has a 3rd print. It's hard to tell with all the coloring of it. All the covers look the same, but the color tints are what seems to change with the printings.
Oh, okay.
Boom Studios. Your Fence is back.
Yeah, yep, it's popular.
It's got a second printing.
Yeah, I went to a second printing already. I think I missed a volume somewhere along the line because I don't really know what's going on. Once Upon a Time at the End of the World is back. That was a fun first arc, and then they just jump in time now, aged everybody up. So I don't know if it'll be as fun, but the first volume was great.
Marvel Comics.
We're excited about Captain America 750.
Yeah. Got a George Perez cover there too.
Making it $8. Captain Marvel's relaunching after her 50th issue as Captain Marvel Dark Tempest.
I think this is one told in the past, though.
And Anderson, he's going to do it. I really like Anderson.
Yeah, so do I. I'm with you there, brother.
She's great.
Daredevil number 13.
It's been good.
Doctor Strange number 5.
Are you enjoying Fantastic Four?
I am.
Much as I am?
Yes, I heard I was listening to the comic page and they don't seem to like it, but I like it a lot.
I think it's great. That's Fantastic Four I've read for a long time.
I think he's got a good grasp of the characters.
Yeah.
Edge of the Spider-Verse, probably going to have some more spiders.
More spiders.
For speculation. Extreme Venomverse, we're probably going to get different versions of Venom, like this pink Venom with pink ponytails.
Yuck.
Why not?
I guess.
Why not exploit it if the money's there, I guess. I'd do the same thing. You want more? We'll give you more.
Yeah, that's true. If the guesser gets hot, you want more guesser?
Oh yeah,
we'll give
I'm
you some
gonna
guesser.
make different versions of guesser.
Somebody else will letter the damn thing.
Let's just milk it. Spider-Man number 10. I finished the Spider-Verse Dan Slott stuff, which I really liked, but haven't started the Electro series yet.
Thor gets an annual with a great George Perez cover.
That'll be my pick. I think these annuals are doing a lot of first, like this one says Enter Mythos. So I think this is doing like what the Hulk annual did. It's launching us into the new Thor series.
That's cool.
And people are going to underorder the annual because
everybody
Pull
does.
Box is a separate. If you subscribe to Thor, you don't subscribe to the annual. So it's going to be underordered again, just like Hulk was. That'll be my pick, actually.
You just can't. You can't jump the gun like that, Mike.
I'm gonna jump the gun.
You
matter of fact,
throw
anytime. I think I'm gonna not gamble anymore with my speculator picks. It'll always be Marvel and DC because that 90% of what is popular is Marvel or DC.
Yeah, that's true. That's it.
Yes, you can luck out in the indies, but it really takes a very good guessing.
Looking at Dynamite then for no reason because Mike just kind of threw his pick out. So.
Well, I do like Dynamite. I know you guys don't like it, but the Disney
I don't
ones
not
are
like it. Just nothing ever
spectacular.
Never worked.
There's J. Lee covers for Maleficent. Oh my God, they're fantastic.
Oh yeah, they're pretty.
And Maleficent is really, really good. I find it interesting that they just want to focus on villains and not any of the good characters, but it's a really good book.
You and I read roughly the same amount of books a week, like 15 to 20, right?
On a good week, I read 35,
Oh,
30
okay.
to 35. On a bad week, I read like 20.
Okay.
But if I'm on vacation, it just depends. If I'm on vacation, sometimes I can only read 5. It depends on where I'm at. Like at my Heroes Con week, I didn't read hardly anything. Me and Bill stood up till like midnight every night talking.
Yeah. So it wasn't a lot of comic reading. I I just like there's so many great comics. I
Yeah.
I just can't read them all. I can't read them all. So I got to
And then
make
if you
weird
throw in back
decisions.
issues, though, you really throws you in for a.
Oh yeah. If I end up, like go down a rabbit hole on something that I missed and want to read that really slows me down.
Yeah.
It's
King
tough.
Kong, you got a monkey on the cover. It should be doing well.
Should be good. What's this? Barnstormers from Dark Horse. This is Scott Snyder and Tula Lote.
Yeah, she's amazing. I love
That's a
Tula.
good combo, but it's 1918 Barnstorming Pilots.
I would have bought it, but I didn't because I have Comixology and it's a Comixology original. So I was like, well, I have access to the entire series right now. Why double dip?
Right. Cool, because you're a
Yeah.
print person.
True, but I kind of am trying to save, and
Gotcha.
it's a good way to save on indies
Yeah, if you got it
because
on.
I don't have as much of a loyalty to indies as much as I do Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
I not to say I don't enjoy them as much, but because they're finite and they don't have that continuity thing usually. I just it's done in one, and I don't if I read it digitally, I don't feel like I'm missing this overall arc. Whereas I do feel that way with Zenoscope because it has a rich universe.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Cinderella versus the Queen of Hearts. I I just got caught up on a lot of Alice in Wonderland in Zenoscope, and I'm enthralled.
Now, see, you jumped the gun with your pick because here you missed the opportunity to pick Heat Seeker Gun Hunting #1 to go along with your Scarlet
Yeah,
Couture.
I could have double tipped, and I
Yeah.
could have even gone with that cosplayer because I think she's amazing. I follow this cosplayer. She's she does a lot of Red Sonja, and she's an amazing cosplayer.
You mean she's hot?
Yes, but she's also very talented in terms of crafting
Getting
these
her picture taken.
costumes.
Oh.
No, she makes the costumes
Oh, so you think they send her the comic and
incredibly.
say cosplay this?
No, I think she crafts it and then becomes part of the comic. I think in this case, they in Titan's case, because their properties are new, they hire cosplayers to anticipate what this thing is going to be.
Uh,
But like things like Red Sonja, they know what Red Sonja is going to be like, or she knows like
yeah.
who Mara is going to be. She knows like what she did a fantastic Mystique. I don't know if you follow her on Twitter. I forget what her name is, but she did an incredible dress for Mystique. It is the most sexy Mystique I've ever seen.
Very cool.
Look at all those covers.
Yeah.
They're
They're great.
amazing.
There's
There's
another AWA I wanted
a
to read. Ed Brisson and CP Smith on Sins of the Salton Sea. I've got that sitting there.
another horror comics. I love these anthologies from Antarctic Press. They're so great.
Oh yeah.
Now they know how to do anthologies.
Yeah. All right. Well, what did you say you were
I jumped
taking?
the gun. I'm a Thor annual cover A.
Thor annual. You're not doing the George Perez even.
No. Although that probably will go higher. I don't know. I just think cover A is the way to go all the time.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you. I default to that normally, unless there's something that blows my socks off. Who's doing that cover? Adam Kubert. He's no slouch. We need like a Kubert family tree so I can know who's the kid, who's the grandkid, who's the cousin.
Andy and Adam. Joe is the father. Adam and Andy are the kids, and then Emma Kubert is the child to one of them.
Yeah.
I don't know which one. She's winning me over too.
I like her stuff, yeah.
I started with Inkblot, and now I'm reading Stoneheart, and I was questionable whether I was going to continue with Stoneheart, but man, issue 2 came and I just got sucked into this world.
Yeah.
And she is very different from her father's. Very stylistic, like you could tell it's her.
Yeah.
But I really like it.
I wonder if she had to pay for the Kubert school. I wonder if she had to pay tuition to the
Probably
Kubert school.
not.
All right, my pick is Swan Songs from Image and W. Maxwell Prints. Because
have any of his books hit though?
Ice Cream Man bubbles up all the time.
I know it's hit on the Dr. Seuss covers.
Yeah.
But is it hit on the regular?
Cover wise, when they do something creepy, it'll spike for a little bit. But it's comics for fun and profit, Mike. So I pick what I want.
Yeah, I pick just for this show. I'll just do profit.
Because you're fun all the time.
Because I like too much. I can pick too many comics.
Mike, where can our listeners find more of you? If 2.5 hours wasn't enough.
GeekBrunchPodcast.com and DCNoisePodcast.com. I do Geek Brunch Podcast. I do Geek Brunch Retro, Mike M's Weekly Reads, and DC Spotlight. Those are my main podcasts. And I'm the 6th man on this show.
Yeah, exactly.
Whenever Kyle decides to go on vacation, and that's like 50% of the time now.
Or he gets COVID again.
Well, he's got to start saving a lot of money for those 1 in 100 ratios. So.
Yeah, he's going to be picking.
Yeah.
Those slam dunks.
Because we're going to be making sure his order forms have it.
That's the requirement. We just came up with a new rule.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it. And thank you, the listener. We will talk to you next week.
All right. Bye.
As you know, our LCS is Cowabunga Comics, Lake Country, Wisconsin's best pop culture destination for new comics, back issues, gaming, retro video games, vinyl, and figures. Give them a call, 262-569-9999. Check them out online at cowabungacomics.com or follow them on Twitter at Incredicow. They are our LCS, and we utilize their deep discount mail order service to bring Oconomowoc, Wisconsin closer to us. They'll take care of you. Tell them Drew and Kyle sent you. Say hi to Eric and James from us. If you need an LCS, you can't go wrong with Cowabunga Comics.